Heyo guys, my name is BetaEtaDelota, and today I would like to talk about the concept of furries. It's almost like I haven't done that already. We've all heard about furries or the furry fandom from an online post or a friend of a friend who went to a convention. And with that minimal amount of information, it's hard to envision what being a furry includes and what the fandom is really about. Heck, you probably clicked on this video because someone you know may be a so-called furry or has told you that they're interested in the fandom. Which in this video, we'll be giving a basic rundown of the need-to-know information for any newcomers who have just discovered the creative world known as the Furry Fandom. You could actually call this the official Dummy's Guide to Furries. So please just relax and breathe. There's absolutely nothing to worry about. In fact, your child, friend, acquaintance, or individual of interest you may be worried about is probably making the best decision of their life by being in the fandom. So without further ado, let's start off by asking the question, what really is a furry? The most accurate definition is that a furry is someone who has an interest or hobby in colorful, vibrant cartoon animals, with the most common type of cartoon animal being anthropomorphic animals. Now, anthropomorphic animals, those of which furries are interested in, have a mixture of animal-like and human qualities. Some traits include being able to stand on two legs, talk normally, wear human clothing, or even just go through normal human activities. You can find anthropomorphic animals present in common children's cartoons such as Looney Tunes, Pokemon, Digimon, and a variety of Disney films such as The Lion King, Robin Hood, and Zootopia. I won't be able to go into the history of how the furries came to be, as I myself don't even really know, but just know that most people found an interest in the furry fandom or an interest in anthropomorphic animals through the different forms of video media that we grew up with. Think of furries in the same way as you would think of your average comic book and superhero fans. People gain an interest in the colorful and vibrant world of comic books and superheroes, and in turn they come together to create a community of people with these similar interests. Which brings us to the next question, what is the furry fandom? Well, to put it simply, the furry fandom is a group of people with a similar interest in colorful cartoon animals. This idea of a fandom highlights a sense of community for people to find and befriend others in a safe environment. From this sense of community, and similarly to other fictional hobbies, we have furry conventions in which furries from different parts of the world come together in one location to meet one another and do fun things like attending panels, going to dance competitions, and purchasing furry art and merchandise in the dealer's den. As an example, this last year I went to two major furry conventions. The first was Anthrocon, which happened last July in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, and had an outturn of about 8,500 attendees. The second convention was Midwest Fur Fest, which happened this last December in Chicago, Illinois, and had an outturn of over 10,000 attendees, marking it the biggest furry convention to date. But while this all sounds nice, what do furries actually do? And this question has a variety of answers, but mainly revolves around the idea of fluffy and huggable animals. While furries have different avenues of interest besides being a furry, such as art, dancing, entertaining, gaming, and several other hobbies, it all comes together into the concept of being yourself and expressing your true colors through a sort of persona. And this is the main point to what the furry fandom is about and what makes us unique from other groups. In the furry fandom, we have a part of us that we choose to express ourselves through, known as a fursona. A fursona is simply a furry persona, where individuals can create an animal or hybrid in whatever form or species they want that best represents who they are and who they wish to be. As an example, my fursona named Maverick is a wolf-dragon hybrid who really is an overextension of who I am but more giddy, cheerful, and happy, something I wish I could be more of myself. Some furries choose to highlight personalities or traits in their fursona that they wouldn't normally choose to show outside of the furry context, which helps people in a sort of self-enthusiastic sense, as the fandom encourages creativity and openness. But how do furries represent their fursonas in a tangible form? Well, there are ways of bringing your ideas to life through art, writing, and acting, but the furry fandom specializes in bringing their furry selves to life in the form of fursuits. Fursuiting is similar to the concept of cosplaying, where individuals will have a costume made of a certain character and they'll wear the costume to conventions or meetups. And yes, these fursuits can get really hot, even though I don't have one. The point that most people find in fursuiting as their fursona is not only to bring their character to life, but to also express themselves in a different personality or in some way they might not naturally feel comfortable showing. Now this might seem a bit contradicting, as this may show that putting on a mask or fursuit head allows people to be something they're not, but in our fandom, when we put on a mask that portrays some other character, we become who we really are. We're able to show the side of us that we've always dreamed of expressing, but never had the supportive environment to do so. Regardless of all the fluff and complications with fursuiting and traveling to conventions, one of the greatest benefits to being in the furry fandom has to be the support network that we create as a community. The encouragement of creativity and self-expression through a positive and caring environment. What could you not love about this? The furry fandom is a place where people can feel wanted or find a place where they belong. It's a place where anyone can flourish socially and creatively. The sense of community in the furry fandom creates a social support for people when life has its ups and downs. I think it's quite fair to say that having a group of people who care about you is one of the best catalysts for well-being and happiness. In short, for most people, the furry fandom is a fun and healthy hobby. Yes, the whole getup of dressing up as a big fluffy animal seems odd by today's standards. Just remember that being interested in the furry fandom is no different than any other hobby or interest. And that's why I and many others support the furry fandom's existence. But that about wraps things up. up. That's a general summary of what the furry fandom is about and what it stands by. If you have any further questions about the furry fandom, I'd highly recommend you go and check out FurScience's website. They have separate articles and sections which should answer any questions a curious individual might have about the furry fandom that I haven't answered already. And if there are any parents watching this, they have a section for parents to learn about their child's hobby and how to treat it. I'd also like to add that Ling did an amazing job encapsulating the furry fandom in the CNN original series This Is Life. It's a 45-minute documentary on the furry fandom, and I'd recommend checking that out for a more unbiased point of view. The link to FurScience and the documentary will be the very first links in the description below and in the comments section, so please go and check them out if you are more curious about our fandom. Besides that, thank you guys for watching. Let me know what you thought of this video in the comments below, and as always, please subscribe if you're new here. I try to upload every other week, but with engineering classes starting again, that schedule may get a bit iffy. If you feel like supporting what I do on here, then you should try checking out my Patreon. There are a bunch of tiers for you guys to become patrons for, in which you can get a variety of rewards in the end, like some snazzy life jacket art. The link to all these things will be in the description below if you are curious. Still, that about does it for this video. Have a good day, guys. And as always, stay life jacket. Take care.